About 4 billion years ago, the first microorganisms existed on the surface of the planet Earth. They created a reserve of organic substances and saturated the atmosphere with oxygen that ensured the very fact of the existence of life on the planet. Strange as it may seem, today microorganisms still underlie all the trophic levels, providing the very basic possibility of life on the planet. Hello, I am Volodymyr Krut, and today we'll talk about a more practical issue: how to improve your soil. In our previous videos, we already compared agrobiocenosis with the human body, which functions well while the microflora is fine, but needs probiotics to recover from stressful factors such as poisoning or intensive care. A healthy agrobiocenosis is no less complex than the human body. As long as it was balanced, it ensured the functioning of all living things and the accumulation of the organic compound of the soil, and also had a certain reserve of resistance against the impact of stressful factors such as droughts. But intensive farming has taken its toll. The use of aggressive pesticides such as TMTD, anhydrous ammonia, deep plowing and aggressive crop rotations have effectively destroyed the natural groupings of microorganisms that once provided plant nutrition, soil health and field fertility. At the same time, pathogenic microorganisms developing on the surface and inside plant tissues were often protected from these adverse factors created by human activity. As a result, the balance of the microbiota shifted in a direction unacceptable for plants and therefore for humans. So now we have to restore the balance by returning beneficial microorganisms to the soil, searching for the most active ones in healthy natural cenoses. One of the most effective tools for that is the so-called destructors. Although their main function is not just to decompose crop residues, but to prevent spreading of pathogenic microorganisms in these residues and soil. There are two ways to do this. First, indirect. The decomposition of the residues of plant stems, their roots and leaves, which contain pathogens. This decomposition makes pathogens vulnerable to external factors, such as drying, freezing, ultraviolet radiation, antibiotics of antagonistic microorganisms, and even chemical pesticides, from which pathogens were protected by thick plant walls. The other is the direct way, the release of a wide range of antibiotic compounds that adversely affect pathogenic microorganisms, as well as direct parasitism of beneficial bacteria and fungi on the biomass of pathogens. The most famous antagonistic microorganisms are micromycetes from the genera Trichoderma and bacteria from the genera Bacillus, Pseudomonidaceae, Enterobacteriaceae and others. And usually the breakdown of complex organic compounds such as cellulose and hemicellulose, lignins, pectins and chitin is provided not by one or two microorganisms, but by a whole group, a consortium. It is the diversity of such groups in healthy soil that ensures gradual decomposition of complex organic matter into simpler and eventually into low molecular weight compounds that are the source of humus formation. It is worth noting that the line between the decomposition of crop residues and parasitism of living plants is very subtle. Therefore, all microorganisms that are part of high-quality biological products must be thoroughly checked. Another important result of using destructors is the return of macro and micronutrients contained in plant residues. Unfortunately, it is not enough to simply add a few hundred kilograms of NPK to the soil to ensure plant nutrition, because most of these chemical elements will erode or bind with others, causing salinization of the soil. If you want your fields not to lose but to restore fertility, you should definitely watch our next video, in which we will be joined by an experienced agronomist, Svetlana Korsun. She will explain why it is not enough just to add nitrogen to decompose crop residues and tell you about humus formation and bioavailability of nutrients. That is all for today. I hope this was useful and interesting for you. Subscribe to our channel and join us next time.